time for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Arraj.
Hey, boys and girls, Lowco Sports fans, people around the world. Justin Jarrett, Max Arraj, and Marcus Walsh from WHHI-TV sitting in for Wes tonight on the Lowco Sports Lowdown Wednesday night edition. And 2 nights in a row, boys, we've been up to the task. So that's good. It's a busy time in all of our lives. Certainly, Max and I are both burning it at both ends, trying to be coaches, and certainly, earning another level of respect for the folks who do it, coaching at a high level in a high school program. It's a full-time job, man. And when you're teaching during the day and you're coaching, it becomes, often an 11 to 12 hour day at the school, and every bit of it pouring into kids. So much appreciation for those people, and I'm glad that I've gotten to experience it firsthand, and really truly appreciate what they go through, because so important to our society. But enough about that, boys. It's a Wednesday night. I got out to a ballpark tonight that was not my own. I popped over to the tank, or the deep end, or whatever we're calling the baseball yard, Shark Park, and because I saw that the Sharks were up on Bishop England 4-2 when I picked it up in the 5th inning. By the time I got there, they had kind of broken it open a little bit, and then they popped it wide open and ended up winning 11-2, which is a huge win for them. Now they're 1-1 in that series going into Friday at Bishop England, and that kind of looks like the top 2 teams, I would think. Although Beaufort has something to say about that. They beat Hilton Head the other night. I haven't checked their score tonight, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then I saw May River softball was putting it on Beaufort High pretty good. That team, May River's very good. Beaufort has lost a step. Obviously, Kylie Rass graduating was going to be a drop off, but and then when you have a dominant pitcher and then you don't anymore, you have a lot more balls in play. And that exposes a lot of inexperience and weaknesses on defense. So they're kind of growing through it right now. Coach Rast is having a tougher time than he has the last few years when he had his daughter out there in the circle to help him out. But she's doing great up at North Greenville, and he'll get that program, back up on the up and up. They're young, and they're growing. But it ended up 18-1. It looks like. Beaufort baseball beat Hilton Head again, 5-0. So they take the series, and we'll try for the sweep on Friday. That's a little surprising to me. I thought those teams would be really evenly matched. I wasn't sure that Beaufort wouldn't win the series, but I thought it'd be more evenly matched. Colleton County softball beating up on Hilton Head tonight, 13-0. Cougars still undefeated.
What was the score for that Beaufort baseball game?
5-0. 5-0.
Okay.
And so that means somebody threw a gem against a pretty decent Hilton Head lineup. Just 2 hits for Hilton Head, and Hollingsworth, Gunner. Gunner went 6, struck out 12, 2 walks, 2 hits, and then Davis finished it off.
That's a solid outing, my friends.
Yeah, I saw Gunner last season, and he was impressing me last season whenever me and
He's a
Devon
dude.
did game. He's a great player. He's a great baseball
He's
player.
a guy that, he's bounced around a little bit. I think he was at Bridges Prep for a minute, and then their baseball program didn't really take off, and he went back to Battery Creek, and then ended up coming over to Beaufort High. He played in the men's league with us. I shouldn't say that out loud, because I think you were supposed to be 18 to do it, but he's been catching in the men's league since he was a sophomore in high school, and he's a man. I mean, he knows how to play ball. He plays in the other men's league too, like the Low Country League, I think. So he's a grown man, knows how to play ball, and the last couple of years it's really come together for him, and it looks like he's pitching exceptionally well this year. So Beaufort looking solid, looking real solid. But we'll get into some more scores in a bit. Marcus, we haven't seen you in a few days. How you been, buddy?
Yeah, it has been a few days. Just helping out at the station on Mondays. I'm there every Monday now,
Nice.
doing a bunch of stuff. So there, got choir rehearsals. Really, really ramping up to one of my favorite as everybody knows, I love alliterations. One of my favorite alliterative weeks of the year when it happens, and actually it happens quite often, getting ready for Holy Heritage Week. You got Holy
Yes.
Week with all the churches and
Holy Heritage
concerts
Week.
going up, and then you got the Heritage. And for the first
Yeah.
time since I think 2019, I'm going. I just got tickets for
Oh.
Saturday, so Sam and I are going to go.
And you got to
I,
get tickets these days.
I
It
don't
ain't
think,
like the old days where you could
yeah,
just, find somebody who was giving them away or stroll up there day
right.
of. Like
Things
it's
have
getting to
really
be a hot
remember.
ticket
changed
now.
a
I
lot,
remember, and I
and
I'll remember, and I probably shouldn't say this, but there was a year when the COVID year, when they weren't allowing people on the course, that me and my dad
Yeah.
went in Sea Pines, parked in one of the condo complexes, and just sat in the backyard and watched them play golf.
What's the statute of limitations on this sort of
that's
thing?
a great question. So you kind of did the whole Rookie of the Year thing where you hide up in the tree, kind
Yeah.
of,
Yes.
and watch the action. Yeah. So just been busy with all sorts of things with that and helping out with various things, working on a voiceover project, a pretty big one with
Nice.
Jess and company at WHHI the last couple of days. So finding ways to continue to use my voice and stay busy. And was very busy the last couple of days for sure, but glad I could hop on with you guys tonight. Obviously, knowing that Wes couldn't be here tonight, and looking forward to talking some ball and a few other things because there's some big news around all sorts of sports.
There is. I wanted to ask you though, how's that bracket looking? Is it
It's actually looking pretty daggone good.
yeah? All
It's
right.
not perfect, I think, off the top
Oh
of my
no.
head. And I don't even have the copy with me here, I don't think, but I think I have 12 out of 16 Sweet 16 teams,
Not bad.
6
Oh,
out of
good.
8 Elite 8, and 3 out of 4 Final 4.
Okay.
So it's
Solid.
looking pretty good. And at last check, I believe Wes, and somebody else are all tied for first
Oh yeah, we
in
do
the
Yeah,
have.
it's
Loco bracket
definitely
challenge.
See, I've
it's
already
definitely
abandoned my
not
brackets
me.
completely.
It's 100% not me. My
I had
bracket
to
was done
change my
after the
bracket
first day.
name because
Yeah.
I was doing so poorly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
but
think I'm in
I
fifth
do
out of a whole
still
bunch in
have.
the Barbers of the Low Country bracket.
I still have my entire Final Four intact though. So it's not all lost yet. Now, yeah.
I think
So
I only have
I haven't
two of
given
my
up yet.
Final Four left. Yeah.
I've lost a few already
Yeah.
though. Like Yale's not gonna make it,
Can I
and
can
that
I
didn't
make a
work
hot
out in my
take
favor.
regarding
Yeah,
the March Madness tournament? This has
yeah.
been, in my opinion, in terms of upsets and stuff like that, boring. I don't want to say that
Yeah,
lightly. I don't mean to, say that it has been terrible to watch. It's been great. But in terms of upsets and Cinderella runs, there
yeah.
has not been any of that this year.
There's
And I,
Yeah, one way I heard it, the one way that I
been a
heard
lot of
it
talk about that.
phrased today was they seeded it right. And I thought that was an interesting take on it. Was like they got the seeding good, like if there aren't
right.
a lot of upsets, then they kind of got the seeding right. And I thought that was just a different way to look at it. I think also the it's kind of weird, right? We've had this weird kind of double-edged thing with the NIL deal where for a second there, everybody was competitive. Like you had people were going the other way, right? They were looking for playing time, and you had these guys that were transferring down the ladder and having a lot of success, and they were leading teams to stuff through the transfer portal. And then the NIL thing blew up, and they all started going the other way. Now it's everybody's trying to get up from the mid-major to the D1 so they can get the big paycheck. And so I'm a little worried that what we're going to see now is every time a mid-major gets a dude, he's just going to get plucked. And nobody's ever
Yeah.
going to have that senior leader at the mid-major that goes out and puts up 33 or whatever, makes a big shot at the end. and that the upsets will kind of start to just fade away because people find their level.
Right.
But yeah, certainly this year it didn't really come to fruition much.
That's one side of it, but there's something else that's, I won't say it's completely on par with that in my opinion, but kind of adjacent to that, and that's the whole conference realignment shift.
Sure. Yeah.
When you take a look at BYU,
Yeah.
Houston,
Yeah.
well, Houston's been good for a while,
Yeah,
but
they have.
BYU for sure is in the Big 12, big
Mhm.
time conference. Ole Miss, is a team that is listed as a 6th seed for
Right.
this tournament, and they're coming on strong in the SEC. I think their run is going to end this week. I think they're going to get beat by Michigan State personally. But you look at those other teams that were formerly a little bit more of the mid-major status.
Yeah.
There were some really good upsets, I thought, in the first couple of days, even getting to
Yeah.
this
Yeah. I
point in
mean,
the
you had
Sweet 16.
McNeese. You had obviously Arkansas
Yeah,
knocking out St. John's was a pretty
that's a
massive
big one
upset.
too.
And I
And
enjoy that Arkansas team. They're fun to watch.
I do too. I think
I'm no
they're going to give
Calipari
Texas
fan,
Tech
but
a good game.
I love that guy they call Hey Dude, you know. Adu.
Yeah.
I like him.
I will,
He's fun to
yeah.
watch.
I did see St. Mary's was a first 4 team um, early in the week. I saw this morning that they will no longer be a D1 program or any of
St.
their
Mary's?
program. St.
What?
Mary, yeah, the first 4 team out of
Yeah, that's a
it's
point.
not St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference. It's another St. Mary's school that's very small.
No, there wasn't another St. You're thinking of St. Francis.
Was it St. It
I
may have been
think.
St. Francis. I don't know. I'd have to take a look again, but I did see and saw that they may not be back in D1 in the near future because they don't have any more. They don't have enough money to keep up
Yeah.
with.
Yeah,
St.
not
Yeah,
St.
that
Mary's,
can't
St.
that
Francis.
can't be the
St. Mary's
Gales.
is doing fine. They're doing
It can't
fine.
be
Yeah.
St. Mary's. It
St.
might be
Franpa or St. Franpa. Yeah.
It might be St.
Sure.
Francis. I don't know who
PA,
it was.
yes.
It was the first,
Yeah.
it was
I
the one that
call
was
them
in the
St.
first 4.
Franny and St. Franpa. That's
Yeah.
what I've always
Like it.
called them.
It was the first 4. They were first 14 this year, but I hear they're now moving down to D3 instead of
Really?
D2. Yeah.
St. Francis is. Wow. That's where Bracken did his postgraduate internship with their athletic department back in the day after he graduated
Right.
from USCB.
And I'm pretty sure
But
I
that's
saw that come across.
well, that's
that.
something that's going to happen more and more too. I think is as some of these schools realize that they can't compete in Division 1 as it now exists with NIL and haves and have-nots being as divided as they now are. I think you're going to see a lot of schools who say, "Look, we can't get caught up in this arms race. This is not for us. We're an academic institution," and they're going to go D3 because that is, the last true bastion of student athletes and amateurism. Really, is
Right.
D3 sports. And shout out and rest in peace to John Jr. Feinstein, who wrote the book on that, The Last Amateurs. But no, I think that's a real thing that we're going to see. A lot of these marginal mid majors are just going to say, look, we can't keep up with this. We got to go the other direction with it. And I think it's going to create a really robust Division 3 potentially, or even Division 2. I think there's a
Division
place
2 for
too.
sure.
I think there's a place there that is a happy medium where it's still scholarship sports, but
Right.
it's not ruled by money necessarily. So I think it's all going to work itself out. But I think Ray's right. NIL is going to kill the idea of the mid-major as a Division 1 institution because it's a different game that we're playing now.
And that's the thing. And that's for me in terms of college basketball. That's what I'm hating the most right now is the fact that we won't have the idea of mid-major programs in the near future.
And they're talking
it's
about 96 teams, and that just doesn't
No,
make sense to
no,
me.
no.
I mean,
just
if you
think-
do
I mean,
that,
look at-
here's my caveat. I can live with 96, but only if you give auto bids to the regular season and tournament champion of of every
Yes,
conference.
absolutely.
Because I
100%.
hate when the mid-major regular season champ gets bumped in the tournament and then doesn't get the bid. That's
But I mean,
garbage.
look at all the
If we're
look at
gonna
all the
increase the number of teams, we don't need more mid-major teams. We need more mid-major teams.
I like the idea of
Right.
having mid-major programs, but I think the idea of having mid-major programs, especially in the tournament, able to
Oh, it's the best part of it.
it's
Max is
so much fun.
breaking up badly on
Big
his
time.
drive, but
Sounds
but
like he's
he's
playing
right.
pinball.
He's right. The mid majors have always been
I'm
the
on
best
my,
part of the tournament.
I'm on my
You know,
phone
Yeah.
right
when
now, so that's
someone like
part of it.
Coppin State beats North Carolina when I'm a child, and I never forget Coppin
but look
State.
at all
You
the
know, like
yeah. I mean, look at all the more successful mid-major programs like Dayton, VCU. You know, some of those more
Norfolk
successful
State
mid-major programs. Yeah,
Gonzaga,
Norfolk State
is another
You know,
one.
Gonzaga,
St.
Gonzaga
Mary's.
years ago, I don't view them as a mid-major now.
Well, but they
They-
still exist within that
mid-major
they still
conference.
play in a mid-major conference. You know, like
That's a
so
good point. They do.
they've grown
I don't
themselves.
think that's going to be for long.
I don't either,
Well,
and
apparently-
they've definitely positioned themselves as more than a typical
apparently they're
mid-major
moving
at this
out of the
point. But
West
they
Coast.
came from
Yeah.
that.
Well, they're
Right.
moving out of the West Coast Conference. They're supposed to be going into that newly formed Pac-12. I think in the
Right.
next year or two. You know,
Yeah.
for
The
basketball.
Pac-12
I think,
light.
so. Yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically like the Mountain West reformed with Oregon State and Washington State, right? Something
Right.
and Gonzaga. Like
Which
it makes sense though. It's like the Big East
absolutely
of the West for
geographically,
basketball.
it's no brainer.
Well, hopefully St. Mary's goes with them because Gonzaga and St. Mary's should stay together for basketball.
Yes, absolutely.
Um,
That is one of the great rivalries.
It
I
is
think it's completely
truly-
underrated because
truly
of the fact
incredible
that nobody
rivalry.
really watches it until the West Coast Conference tournaments. But you can count on those two teams playing
Oh yeah.
every year in the final, and it's terrific. I love it.
Yeah, it's a terrific rivalry, and they should try to preserve that. And St. Mary's can play in whatever that league is. There's
Absolutely.
no question. They're good, and they've developed a reputation. They're basically what Gonzaga is, just a few years further behind the curve. They were a little later getting started, but they've been riding
Right.
those coattails for a long time now, and getting better. So I love them. Geez, we're 18 minutes deep. The presenting sponsor of the Loco Sports Lowdown tonight, the Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our all-star sponsor. They're our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Christian Academy coverage. And I think we did have a HHCA score tonight that we'll get to here in a little bit. But thanks to Mickelson Law Firm for all their support over the years. And if you have legal needs, please call on them. They can do it all right in downtown Bluffton. Mickelson Law Firm, our all-star sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Loco Sports Lowdown. I do have a few scores from tonight that I've rounded up. Boys soccer, we had a good one. Bluffton 3, John Paul II 0. That was a good matchup. And Bluffton got the dub. That's Josh Fox against his former team again. He's gone back and forth. So it was fun when he was at JP2 and he played his old team, the Bobcats. Now he plays his old team, JP2, when he's with Bluffton. I like Foxy. A couple softball scores. We mentioned Colleton County winning big over Hilton Head. What was it? 13 nothing, I believe. That they won. Hilton Head Christian lost to Cross 20-1. That's a really good program and a brand new program. That kind of thing's gonna happen. May River ended up 18-1 over Beaufort, and JP2 16-0 over Thomas Hayward. So a lot of lopsided softball tonight. But the baseball was more competitive. Beaufort 5-0 over Hilton Head, as we mentioned. A gem from Gunnar Hollingsworth gave up just 2 hits, struck out 12 for Beaufort. May River 11-2 over Bishop England, and I've got some highlights we'll queue up here shortly. Hilton Head Prep 15-4 over Colleton Prep, and then let's see what else we got here. There we go. Hilton Head Christian beat Fairview out of Colorado. This is interesting. I learned this last night at the McCracken game. Go Bulldogs. They got the win over Beaufort Middle. Fairview is from Colorado, They came out here. Their baseball team came out here on spring break. They're playing Hilton Head Christian tonight. They lost 8-4, and then I believe they play May River on Saturday. So that's kind of cool. I mean,
Yeah.
we've tried to get a bus to Hampton twice this year, and once we didn't, and the other time the tire blew on the side of the road. So these guys get to go all the way to Hilton Head from Colorado for their spring break. Must be nice.
It's got to be definitely a different environment from where they're at in Colorado,
I would
playing,
think so.
in the atmosphere and
Right?
the altitude. You come below sea level. It's probably a little bit of culture shock,
Right?
or sea
Yeah,
level shock for sure.
sea level 1, or elevation 1.
Right.
Bluffton also on the baseball side. Nice win tonight, 11-9 over Colleton County. Cougars got 3 in the 6th to tie it, but then Bluffton 2 in the bottom, and then shut them out in the bottom of the inning. Cooper Deach with a solid outing tonight, 8 strikeouts. Bobcats had to rally after giving them 6 in the first.
Wow.
Yeah, Dawson Coonsey, 4 for 5 with a double and 3 RBIs. Nice night for him. Nate Ulmer, 3 for 4, 4 runs scored. Nate Ulmer, how about
Hey,
that?
Homer, he can do more than just carry the football.
Yeah,
Play
or catch it.
defense.
Or catch
That
it.
too.
So there's your scores tonight. I don't know exactly what the baseball standings are offhand. I wish we had Wes here. He would probably know. But let's see if they're updated on the max preps. Don't use the max preps much for the baseball because it's all on the game changer. But we do need to check these region standings. So here we go. Beaufort and Bluffton both sitting at 2-0. Colleton County at 0-2. Hilton Head at 1-5 now. So they have played Bishop England and Beaufort, which would appear to be, 2 solid teams. May River sitting at 1-1 after splitting so far with Bishop England. Bishop England's played a bunch of region games already. They're 4-2, and then Bluffton and Beaufort I mentioned 2-0. So it's jumbled right now. Uneven schedule right now makes it really hard to kind of know how it's all going to shake out. But you would think this May River Bishop England series is huge, and then you would think that Beaufort against Bishop England is the other, and Beaufort against May River. Those look like the top 3 right now. Hilton Head, although Bluffton's sitting at 2-0, you can't count them out. They lost a lot from last year, but they've got some juice. They got some decent pitchers, so it's going to be a fun race in that baseball race. Softball, not so much. It's going to be May River and Colleton fighting it out for the top spot, and everybody else is kind of rebuilding right now. So, you got to any baseball games yet, Marcus? I'll tell you what.
Haven't
Now is
been to
the
any high
rough
school games
time
yet.
because them damn
Yeah.
bugs, they are bad right now. They were
Yeah.
the 10th man was working overtime at May River tonight. They were chomping fiercely and with vigor. But yeah, the bugs were out. Bugs were out. Let me get those highlights. Let me get those May River
Yeah.
highlights. Where are you at, Max? You home yet? This man working late.
I think he's muted.
Yeah, he is. He might be on his way in. But I got May River highlights coming up. As I mentioned, they broke this one open late. It was competitive for much of the game, and then suddenly it wasn't. Let's see here. Sharks scored in the first. Bishops answered in the second. Bishops went up 2-1 in the fifth, and then May River with 5 in the fifth, 5 in the sixth to break it wide open. They got to the kid Weiner, who's really tough. Got him out of the game. He got to 74 pitches. They're probably trying to save him for a certain date, so they didn't want to go over that. And then they got into the bullpen pretty good. So this comes from the second big inning, the 6th inning. They just made a pitching change, trying to shut down this Sharks offense, but
The rifle shot.
yeah, that's Reed. I was wanting to say Jonas Reed because that's his brother's name, but Jordan Reed wheeling into third with a triple. Didn't even get to put a full swing on that one. He just shot it to right field, but found some green space and he can run. And then Tyson Brazington pisses on one, but center fielder makes a nice grab.
Nice catch.
Looked like he was burned, but he was able to reach up and snag it. But didn't matter. Max Van Esselston was large and in charge tonight. Max goes the distance on 84 pitches, gives up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts in the complete game effort. And he was dealing down the
Is that
stretch.
Brooks's brother?
Sure is. There you go. Aaron Guthrie flashing the leather. Columbia International commit, maybe signee. I think he's signed already. And then a bouncer to short for Reed, and we're out of here. Sharks get it done over Bishop England tonight.
I love that field. That field is so
It's a
beautiful.
beauty, ain't it?
It
It's
is
a
so
beauty.
beautiful.
Oh, Kevin says Brooks was in the house.
Ooh.
I did see. I saw our old friend Ross Putnam out there from JP2. Got to talk with him a little bit. Good kid. He's looking good, looking very healthy. And I told him, "You're looking trim, man. You look fit. You look like you're ready to go." So yes, Sharks had all but 2 guys in the lineup tonight had a hit, and the
Wow.
other 2, one of those was on base. Actually, they're both on base. One of them scored 2 runs, and the other one drew 2 walks. So everybody contributed tonight, but Fergus Varley, he was the raker of the night. 3 for 4 with 2 runs and an RBI. Although actually Jonas Reed in the 9-hole, or sorry Jordan Reed. Jonas is in my backyard about all the time, so I get them crossed up. Jordan 2 for 4 with a double, a triple, and 2 RBIs tonight. And Max had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, including a double in addition to his yeoman's effort on the mound. So Big Max coming
Good
through.
stuff.
And I got to hear Big Bo on the call on the PA tonight, although I had to razz him a little because he did make a mistake at one point. He said, Jordan now batting for the Bishops, number 11. Then he said, or for the Sharks, number 11, Jordan Reed.
That happens.
I was
to the
like, how
best
you
of
going to
us.
make Jordan a Bishop, man? But that was right before he shot that triple. So I think he was probably okay with it. So yeah, that region, that baseball region is going to be, there's going to be a lot of good baseball coming down the stretch there. And another round of it Friday night as well with May River at Bishop England. Let's see, where are the others at? Hilton Head Beaufort, where's that one going to be? I got too many teams on my game changer, boys. It's a
I
lot.
think is it at
It's
Beaufort?
at Beaufort on Friday.
Yeah.
Shoal is. And then Bluffton and Colleton. Where's that one? There we go. Bluffton at Colleton on Friday. So that'll be round 3. No, not Brooks Koepka. Not Brooks Koepka. We're talking about Brooks Van Esselston. Brooks Van Esselston. Less famous, but way cooler guy. Way cooler guy.
No doubt.
Yeah, Brooks Van Esselston's great. Brooks Koepka, kind of a jerk. Van Esselston's a great dude. So anyway, that's what went down tonight for the most part. I think we got y'all filled in, except for, yeah, no, I think the only other one we're missing is the girls' soccer between Hilton Head Prep and Hilton Head High, which should have been a really good game. I'd like to know how that one went, if anybody knows. It's not made its way up to our trusty Max Preps just yet. So looking for that one, but that should be a good matchup. What y'all boys else want to talk about after we talk about these sponsors? Think about it. Welcome back to the Lowco Booster Club, Hudson's Seafood House on the docks. Great place for seafoods, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. Presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. New episode coming at you tomorrow night. If we can get it all together. There's some moving parts tomorrow night, but I think we're gonna make it happen. Bob Stevens is in Africa, so
I
let's
was
make
gonna
things.
say, are those moving parts related to Bob because he's in
Yeah,
South Africa right now?
yeah, we're trying to get a sub for Bob, and I'm kind of tied up, and we were gonna do 8, and it was gonna work, and then Curry said 6, and so I don't know, man. We're trying to make it happen. We also have a new
Did
sponsor, and
did
that's
Rich
Hilton Head
say 4?
Furniture. No, it was gonna be 8, but then Curry said, "Can we do it at 6?" And that kind of threw a wrench in things. So trying to figure it out. But we have a new sponsor, Hilton Head Furniture. Thank you, Max. Thank you to the Stola family for coming on board. They have great furniture handmade right up to the road in Hickory, North Carolina, brought down to Hilton Head Island to put in your home and keep it there for a long time because they have quality furniture that's going to last you longer than the typical stuff. So get on over to Hilton Head Furniture and outfit
We
your
gotta get
life.
we gotta get
I'm
Larry
making up
support. Yeah, we gotta get
making up
Larry.
jingles on the fly here.
Yeah, man, we
Oh,
gotta
we
get
don't
Larry.
know if Brooks was here. He was just making a Shawshank
Oh,
reference. Yeah.
I was gonna
I
say we gotta
was
Yeah.
get.
I was about
Brooks
ready to
is
ask Kevin if he was at the game.
Brooks is in season right now at Florida Tech, so I wouldn't think he would be
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
scooting around too
I will
much.
say this: we need to get Larry Satola Jr. from Hilton Head Furniture out for a few games this year. Get him on the show with us.
There we go.
That dude knows
That sounds
baseball
good.
better than
Yeah, he
that
was
dude
a
knows
ball
baseball
player,
better than anyone. Yeah, dude, he was a player back in the day for Christian Academy, and
no doubt.
I swear I thought he was going to go to college too to play at that level. He was a very good player. But yeah, I would love to because he's
Well,
had some
Brooks
good.
Van Esselston. Brooks has played in all 9 games, making 2 starts this season. He's got 7 goals and an assist for the
Hey,
Panthers. He's taken 25 shots, put 15 of them on goal. Got 3 ground balls, 5 turnovers, 3 what's that? Draw controls. I guess. No, what's CT? What do you think CT stands for?
No idea.
He's got 3 of those, whatever they are. Some guys got 16 of them, and I don't know if that's good or bad. Oh,
CT?
cause turnovers.
Ah,
it's
Yeah,
not
that's it.
great.
That's it.
yeah, that is.
So no cause turnovers. That means that's takeaways, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So Brooks has 3 of those, but he's getting some run, and he's studying engineering or something.
Great.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. He's gonna be fine. Gonna be just fine. He did have a hat trick against North Greenville, so that had to feel good.
Hey, that's really
That had
good.
to feel good.
I have something to talk about.
What have you got? What
How
have you?
about USCB men's golf?
What'd they do?
They are now up to 14th in the national
Okay.
Division II rankings this week. That
Hey,
post
Excellent.
came out about a few hours ago today. That they've moved up to 14th in the country, so they have a shot at possibly a peach belt title, and they have a good chance of doing that this year. The way they've been playing golf,
They've been good for a long time, like
they
since the
have,
beginning.
but I think this year they've turned it up a bit more.
Yeah.
This year, and they've really shown up. And I think they have a very good chance of making making a run for a Peach Belt conference title, which would be great to see for USCB this spring.
Yeah. So here's a fun story going all the way back, way back to the start. When USCB first got their golf program going. You may or may not know that one of their original players was none other than Reed Howard, the son of Ron Howard, who
Really?
happens to, I don't
Walsh.
know if he still does, but at the time, Ron had a residence in Sea Pines, and Reed stayed, I think it was in Sea Pines. I know it was on Hilton Head. And Reed, came to school here and played golf here. Transferred from Pepperdine, speaking of the West Coast Conference, to come back
Good
to
school.
USCB and play. And so the first time I met Ron Howard was just on the side of the green out at Hilton Head Lakes. He was just a dad walking around watching his kid play a college golf tournament. And the next thing I knew, I was talking to Ron Howard out at Hilton Head Lakes. So that was a fun
Solid.
time. Reed's a really neat kid. He was really funny, fun to be around, and spitting image of his pops. I mean, he looked like freaking Richie Cunningham. Not even kidding. It was pretty funny. Red mop top. Really good kid. So that's a fun fact about USCB golf. But they've been good for a long time. I really thought they were going to be the first program to win a national championship there, and they came close a couple times in the NAIA days, like top 5, top 3 finishes, right there in the mix, with some really good players that have come through there. And now they've tapped into, the European market in a way that they hadn't previously. I mean, they'd always gotten a couple guys from over there, but they got a bunch of dudes that are clamoring to come from over there who can really play. And they got a good group. And Corey Cottrell, who's an alum of the program, he played there when I was working there. Then went on to Georgia Southern and got his master's in sports psychology and started specializing in coaching and mindset training and stuff. And he's come back to lead the program, and I think he's just doing a phenomenal job. And I still think they got a shot. Next year they get postseason eligible. Put them in the mix. Let's see what happens. Because in golf, man, most of the time there's a number, and Marcus, from covering that DRI so much. But there's in a good field, there's anywhere from 12 to 15 teams that have a legitimate chance to win it any given week, and it's just who puts it all together.
And here's the thing too, that a lot of people might not understand. Even I didn't quite grasp it until a few years ago. You look at a lot of those teams; they don't necessarily even have to have their best day or a couple of best days. You just have to grind it,
Just grind
survive,
it
and
around.
advance.
Yep.
I see so many, especially talking about the DRI. I see so many of those teams that end up shooting over par multiple days. They may even finish, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8 shots over par, and that's still good enough to win.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's about
college golf is a
minimizing
different level
damage.
compared to the pros, like any other sport.
Sure.
It's really interesting though when
It's
you
really
see
about
that level of
minimizing
competition.
damage. You just
Yeah.
can't. You got to take your medicine and not do anything stupid that's going to make a big number. And then you need one or two of your people to get hot and go low each day, and then everybody else just has to. If you don't have your best stuff, you just scrape it around and try to make pars and get on to the next one. And because like you said, I mean, when you're averaging across 4 people, a 15 shot lead can go fast if people start tanking. It just takes a couple of people to have a rough day, put up a couple big numbers, and you've lost your lead. So it's all about consistency and even keeled. Golf's got to be the hardest game to. I know I'm a baseball guy, of course, and everybody calls it the hardest game, but I
It's
think
got
golf is
golf.
I
I
think golf's
completely
the
agree.
hardest game. It's so hard, dude.
It is
And
difficult.
and
It
the
is.
the practice just looks miserable to me. Just watching them pound balls on the range, just I couldn't. I don't have the attention span for that.
Here's here's the thing. We talk about golf, especially me as a hack, and I don't play nearly as much as I used to, but it's maybe like 20% physical, especially if you
Oh
walk
yeah,
a bunch. Even if you have a cart, it
right.
is literally so much up here
So much.
from shot to shot. It is
Yeah.
unreal
My
the
hardest thing, and
amount
I
of
got decent at the game. When I played a lot, I got decent. I could break 80. I could, if I was putting really good, I might I think I shot a 74 once, like on an easy course, not on anything out here. I'm trying to break 100 on these courses out here, man. These are legit. Not the
yeah.
Muni in the Midwest that they don't water in August, like you could just hit a worm burner and it rolls out 250 yards. But no, I got pretty decent for a little bit, and then I couldn't play frequently anymore, and I got bad, and now I don't want to play. But just I can't practice. I have to play, just play. That's my practice, and I can't afford,
I'm
nor do I have
I'm with
time
you.
to play anymore.
That's the thing,
So
is time. I don't have,
time's the biggest thing. I ain't got
especially
a
with the way
4 hour block
my
in my day to do nothing.
my level of stuff is in my life with work and being in charge of a household. uh I just don't have the time, and I didn't especially have much time, before the situations in my life
Yeah.
changed. I go out,
I'll tell you what.
hour and a half to 2 hours for 9, or 4 to 5 hours for 18. That's good. And when I first moved here, I used to play golf, once every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm lucky if I get
No way.
maybe 6 to 8 rounds a year in.
Well, I got
I mean,
spoiled because my buddy Adam Carroll used to work at Palmetto
that's right.
Bluff, May River, and he would call me up and say, "What are you doing today?" About 1 o'clock, and I'd say, "Playing golf with you?" Question mark. And yep, that's what I was doing a lot, and that got me real spoiled. So I don't even want to go play anyplace else
Yeah, I have to
anymore.
get out with some of my eventual, already extended family. Sam's family, her brother-in-law loves to play, her stepdad loves to play, her dad plays. I'm gonna have to get out with my
I
dad
used to
and
play a
some
lot
of those
in
guys.
deals, because when I worked at the Packet, there'd always be they renovated the course and they want us to come play it, or they remodeled the clubhouse and they want everybody to come play golf and see the clubhouse, or a tournament was coming and they had a media day, and it just those things aren't as frequent as they used to be.
I
Um, but I
am
got to play
perfectly
a lot
fine.
of nice golf courses because of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with just going to the Heritage and watching golf.
Yeah.
I mean, I play golf, but not. I have
You know
no.
what
Not much
though?
interest
I will
in.
say this. I was super skeptical of TGL, the Pretend
Right?
Golf League. That stuff, that championship was fun to watch, man. The crowd was hype. Billy Ho
What
rolled
did
in
I
that
tell
snake
you?
of a putt and went absolutely nuts. Like it was cool. It was cool.
I want to go.
I
I
ain't
want to
gonna
go to
lie.
one.
It
I want to
was
go to one night
it
and
was
then just
more
go and
fun to
watch it.
watch. It was more fun to watch than most PGA Tour events, I have to say. It was entertaining.
That's saying
It's
something.
fun.
It was quick and it was fun and they were interacting and they were, it was like every hole was 17 at Scottsdale, like, or 16, whatever the
Yeah.
hole is where they party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
But
It's
seriously, it was like a football crowd in there. It was awesome.
this
Yeah.
this
It's
isn't an
so cool.
exact comparison, but it's like I mentioned, and I haven't seen any of that on TV yet. I'm gonna have to check it out.
The
But it's kind
championship
of
was on last night and it was awesome.
Yeah.
like how I mentioned, it kind of reminds me of what the Savannah Bananas are now for the game of baseball.
Yeah,
Kind of
very similar.
a show is there, and then a sport breaks out. That's what the Savannah Bananas are to baseball, and that sounds
For
like that's
sure.
what the TGL is to the game of golf.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
it's a
It's
move in
an
that direction.
experience.
It's definitely a move in that direction. It's trying to kind of bridge the gap, and create something that both the hardcore fan appreciates and
Mm.
the casual fan enjoys. Like,
Right.
The
and I like
technology,
that.
the technology behind that whole thing that they have there for the
It's
TGO is
wild.
it's unreal. It's so
It's
crazy.
wild. You can see them every once in a while go, huh? And they know, like they're like, no, no, that's not where that shot would have gone. And they know. And you can tell every once in a while they're like, no. And sometimes even like, whoa, I forget who it was last night said the ball landed and they were like, I hit that off the hosel. Like he didn't expect it. He thought it was gonna be bad and it turned out good. So, I think there's probably a little bit that they have to fix up with the technology a little bit, but it seems good enough. And
But the
the
green
green
on
is so cool. And I like the way, like, you hit your shot in the bunker, they throw your ball in that little sand pit and you got to hit out of there. They
which
got
is
so
sand,
so
which is
Marcus, you
sand
haven't
for
seen
the
it, but they
gusto.
have three at the driving range, basically spot where they hit all their shots. They
Right.
have three little mats, and one is the short grass, the fairway, the tee box.
Yeah.
One is sand, and one is rough, and it's thick grass. And
Yeah.
so they really get, a legitimate lie that represents where their ball
And
is.
That
And
sand I mentioned on another show.
from
That sand
Augusta.
from Augusta.
Yeah.
How
That's
cool
right.
is that?
That's
Yeah.
that's
insane.
incredible.
And
But
then the
I
green is an actual green that so when you hit your
I've moved.
shot, it shows a mark where your ball lands on the green, and then they go put your ball there and you actually putt on the chip and putt on the green.
For any of you who want to
So
know more
you can play a
information
bunch of
on this,
holes fast because they don't go to walk.
yes,
Right.
I saw a video, and for those of you watching, you can definitely watch this to understand how this whole thing works. There was a YouTube golfing group that got to play like a round of golf at the TGL Stadium that they're
Nice.
doing the game and stuff, and it shows like how everything works, and it's so cool. But that
So it's
green,
basically like playing the old Tiger Woods, except you
And I
actually
was
get
just
to
going to
hit
say
the
that
shots.
because you've got the lines
Yeah.
there when you're going to putt, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation or what have you.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Great comp.
That's what it feels like. I mean, you
Yeah.
hit the shot and you see it going, and it looks like when you watch this shot on Tiger Woods. The screen basically looks just like Tiger Woods. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I want to play it. Golf, golf without walking.
It is
One day we can
alive.
drink and smoke without having to do any cardio.
There you go.
Uh,
Just like John Daly.
Rugby
Kevin, you're
is
so
definitely
right.
harder than golf. And yes,
Oh,
every
Oh,
rugby person,
that's
every rugby player I've ever known was
no
legally insane.
question.
I was friends with the rugby team my first semester in college back at Pittsburgh State University in Kansas, and that drinking team definitely had a rugby problem.
dude, rugby is hard. Man.
Definitely. They were
Dude,
fun to hang out with, though.
And you can hear my dad's stories on his rugby experiences being a former pro rugby player.
I've heard that most drinking teams have rugby problems. I think it's a thing. But
Yeah.
let's see. Have we
There
seen
was
anything
some-
else of note,
There,
boys?
there was some news. I believe it was tonight, maybe last night, but maybe I got my days jumbled up. But didn't I want to say Jimmy text us some coaching news from around the area
Yes.
Oh, we
that
did
you
see.
and I responded
Yes,
to,
we
Max?
did see some news today
Yeah. Well,
that Jared Shaw has escaped
Yes, that's
from
it.
Alcatraz. Jared Shaw, who coached the cross football team for the last couple of years, that has been struggling. And I've said before, I've talked to,
Alcatraz.
I know, I just said I said escape from, and then it had to go to Alcatraz from there, because escape from Alcatraz. But no,
Good
he's
man,
getting a major
Jared Shaw.
upgrade. He's going from doing yeoman's work trying to teach some kids how to play football to being the head football coach at Cardinal Newman, where they play some pretty dang good football. And
They're not
but what I
kidding.
was going to say is I've talked to Jared a couple of times, and I've talked to other people about Jared because they were talking about him in really high esteem about his knowledge of the game and his coaching acumen. And so I think it's an example of that. Just because they didn't have success there when he was there, that doesn't mean he's a bad coach.
Exactly.
He may have coached the hell out of those kids, and they may have been 100 times better than they would have been without him. And we'll never know, just because they didn't beat anybody except for what's their name, who's never won a game in like
Legacy?
15 years.
That wasn't Legacy.
No,
it
what
was,
were they called? I forget.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
like
did
we
too.
talked about.
That's how forgettable it was.
Yeah, something Christian. I know that.
It's like we talked about. Was it Conway Christian?
Yeah, Conway
Conway,
Christian.
yes.
That's it.
There it
It's
is.
it's like we talked about with the basketball programs, and I don't mean to get into a whole huge diatribe
Right,
about that
yeah.
situation there.
Right.
But Cross has had a lot of ups and downs. We think of football, and then we think of basketball. Obviously, the
Yeah,
girls
well.
just won the championship
Right.
in 23, if memory serves correct. The 23-24 season. So now,
Yeah.
like a season and
Yeah.
a half ago, technically.
Yeah, they won back to back. They won it this year too.
That's
They won
that's
two
right,
in a
they
row.
did. So they've
Yeah.
won 2 in a row, and
And
you
their
know,
softball team's a
they're finding
juggernaut.
their
They've done
way
a great
through it.
job of recruiting girls to that school. Their boys' sports have lagged behind, but
Right.
um,
They
but
just
yeah,
got to keep churning and keep grinding and
Does
keep
Cross
going.
even have
But
a?
certainly,
Yeah.
congratulations to Jared because, like you said, JJ, great guy. I had the pleasure of interviewing him. I believe his first year at Cross when they started out with him at Media Day, and really got a good sense of him and got a good sense of what he was trying to do with that
mhm,
program. They just got to keep grinding and keep going. But
yeah.
they're heading towards that direction as a school with athletics.
Yeah. Well, the question now is, who do you hire as your next head coach? I think that's the question that's going to be
Right,
asked.
because well
Of
now they
course,
need a girls basketball coach and a football coach, and that's two really big hires.
no doubt.
If you want to try to build that athletic program, so because if you don't have a good football program, you're going to have a hard time recruiting boys to your school. Period.
Yeah.
Like
I hope
athletes,
Jared does.
male athletes.
I hope Jared does great at Cardinal Newman. I will
Yeah,
just,
Absolutely.
I will just announce to everyone that the region he's playing in is mainly Columbia schools, and
yeah,
it includes Hammond,
you
which has
sure
been
do.
the
Yep.
prestige of
Yeah.
skis of football for more than 2 decades
Yeah, but
now.
he'll get to hire
And so
staff and
I wish him the best of luck. I think he, because I've talked with him before. He's got a great football mind,
he's a
and he knows.
sharp dude. He's a good strength and conditioning guy too. He's a sharp guy. He's got a good football acumen. I think he'll have success there. He'll have support. He'll have resources. He'll have players. And at the end of the day, that's what matters the most.
Yeah.
Is he just didn't have players across, not yet, and they've had some stops and starts. They almost had that football program going good with Brooking, and then it just kind of didn't materialize, and COVID happened, and his kid went somewhere else, and they were trying to get it going. And it, the other thing is, you don't have to have football. You could
Sure.
you could you could
No,
differentiate yourself a little bit. I do think they need to go 8 man. I think trying to go 11
Yes.
man is a mistake. But you might get some old boy who's coached 8 man somewhere for a long time wants to move down to Bluffton. You never do know. Um, you may get some old retired ball coach too who wants. They might get Dave Adams to come over there and do it or something. I have no idea what they have in mind. They have a lot of well-connected families in the area though, and within their school. So you would think that they have some pretty good feelers out and might be able to bring somebody in who can build something from
well,
the
I
ground
will
up.
say Cardinal Newman could use a new fresh face for football, being that over the last 3 seasons they have only won 16 games in 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, they have
Well,
struggled a
that's
lot.
not terrible. That's still averaging over 5 wins. So they're,
Yeah,
they're
they
still
were
a
two and
500
nine. They
team.
were 2-9 this past season. So I
Yeah.
think at
Well,
that
it's
point
still an
they're just cool.
average of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
So
When you
16.
that
talk
means
Not
the
about,
2 years before that were pretty good then.
yeah,
I would
absolutely.
assume. Yeah,
They won
so they're
seven,
not.
7-2.
Yeah, that would be about right.
They won
Because
16.
in
Yeah,
2023,
it's
Yeah.
not bad.
2023
That's
they went 9-3.
that's one down year. That's one down
Yeah.
year. Like, I wouldn't trip
So
about that.
I'm not sure. Well, I don't remember why. I did read something as to why the former coach stepped away. I just can't remember what it was about. It
Thanks.
was there was
Thanks for
something.
your
I
expert insight,
sorry,
Max.
sorry.
I
Ah,
read
drop it,
something, but I don't
Max.
know what it was. Oh yeah, I
I,
saw something about that. I can't tell you what it was though.
well, I can't remember. That was a while back too. I can't remember what it was. Sorry.
Okay.
Let me.
Well,
But I
next
will
time
say,
just look it up and then tell us what it was instead of just telling us that you knew something but you don't know what.
fine. You want me to look it up? I'll look it up now.
I'm just
Let me.
messing with
While
you.
he's looking that up. Jimmy in another text brought something up that I hadn't thought about much, but
Corey
certainly
Helms took the
don't
job
know
at Helion.
the
He took the
answer
job at
to.
Helion.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Jared Shaw played at Carolina, by the way. Gamecock.
Oh, there you go.
He was,
Mhm.
and that might be a big factor in terms of recruiting too. Be like, hey,
Yeah,
we could
sure.
play for a coach who
What?
played at South Carolina. That's pretty
Sure. What were you saying,
cool.
Marcus?
I certainly don't know the answer to this, but I want to try to get it. If you guys know anything or could share anything for Jimmy and myself, any news on the Whale Branch job?
I haven't heard anything yet, but
I haven't
also
heard anything
they're not gonna announce anything until they have a person. Like
Right.
we would have to be calling them
I
and
guess
asking
that
them
makes sense.
questions to get their announcement is gonna be, this is our guy. I mean, that's gonna be,
So
they're not gonna
that
tell
would
us, hey,
probably
we're
happen in the
interviewing
summer.
people.
No,
No,
summer towards the
I
fall.
suspect it'll happen sooner than that. They're gonna want
Okay.
somebody in there
Yeah.
for spring football. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
we're not
that's a
gonna
good
get
point.
an update unless somebody does some journalism.
Sure.
We're gonna have to hear them say, they're just gonna tell us who they hired.
Spring
That's what
football starts, I guess, in April, right? Because schools
it's
normally
kind
head
of,
out.
yeah, you have a window in which you can do it. So
Yeah.
so there's not
That's where
it can happen anytime between now and the end of school, basically.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's dates I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but you get 10 days within this period,
Gotcha.
So
There
I've
you
been
have it,
saying
Jimmy.
things like tripping for a long time. I wouldn't be tripping over that. But they do have me saying some other things that maybe I shouldn't be saying, at my age and complexion. But it's all good. It's all good. All right, boys, let's start bringing this thing in for a landing because I'm getting tired and it's getting late.
Yeah.
We got some more sponsors to shout out. We got Base Hit Life, purveyors of great baseball and softball themed apparel. You've often seen Max's Calm Your Mitts hoodie. I've sported some Base Hit Life apparel as well. They got great stuff over there. I need some more softball gear, so I'll go check out basehitlife.com and live my best base hit life. I'm softball dad and a softball coach now. I've gone all in. Dr. Ambrose Cole, official chiropractor. Find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Reverence Wrestling Club, official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind. By the way, I saw today that Ashley Powell from May River named the South Carolina Wrestling Coaches Association Coach of the Year for the state.
Outstanding.
Well deserved.
Congrats, Coach.
Well deserved. As good as he gets. And of course, in Ashley Powell form, he said, this is a staff award. And he's right. It is a staff award. He's assembled one hell of a staff over there. And when people want to work for you, and most of them are working for free as volunteers, you get the credit, Bubba. You get the credit because you've created a culture. Barefoot Floor Care of the Low Country. Get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. All right, gentlemen. Parting thoughts, Marcus?
Got a few quick things. Some big news in the broadcasting ranks, particularly when it comes to college football and the NFL. Gary Danielson is going to be retiring from CBS and from calling college football at the end of the 2025 season. Charles Davis is going to be doing college football, the Big Ten, on CBS with Brad Nessler starting in 2026. And J.J. Watt will be taking over Charles Davis's position at CBS as the number 2 color guy with Ian Eagle. That's starting this year. So I would think that since they're keeping Charles Davis at CBS, he'll move into JJ's slot. Again, I'm thinking that he'll move into JJ Watt's slot in the studio for the season and then shift over with Brad Nessler and Jenny Dell doing the Big Ten on CBS in 2026. That's going to be very interesting for sure. I was at Wingfest for a short time on Saturday. Congratulations to Coconuts, who got it done again with the People's Choice, and Street Meat got it done with the Judge's Choice for the first time in 15 years. Street Meat shows up at Wingfest and wins. And then, if anybody is interested, I've got the Yankees over the Phillies for the World Series this year. I think both those teams are going to be really, really good.
The Yankees over the Phillies.
I like
in
that
7.
one.
So you're leaving the Doyers out of it.
Yes, I don't even think that the Doyers. I actually knew a guy that pronounced it like that at one time.
Doyers.
I actually don't. I don't think the Dodgers are winning the West. I have the Padres winning the West.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure
Going
about
on a
that
little
one.
bit of a limb.
Yeah,
sure about
you
that one.
definitely are. I like the boldness. I
I
like the
like
boldness.
that, but that might
I've
be a
got-
bit too bold.
I've got the
I have
Yankees taking on the
I ain't gonna
Guards in the
lie.
ALCS and the Padres taking on the Phils in the NLCS.
Ooh.
I have no idea who's gonna win the AL East. I think
No, I
any
don't
one of the
either.
5 could win it.
I got
I
Yanks
just
over Toronto. Toronto will get a
what do
wild
I
card.
have?
I don't
Hold on.
think Tampa's gonna win it this year, but I think any of the other 4 could.
I
Just
have Baltimore coming out of the AL East.
let me
Wow.
riddle you this. I like Baltimore as well. I think any one of them could. I really do. But let me riddle you this. Well, we already know that
Riddle away.
We already know that Marcus is gonna say the field because he just told us that the Doyers won't even win the division, let alone the World Series. But I was gonna say Dodgers or the field to win the World Series. It seems that WHHI has traded you to Buford Sound for 2 HDMI cables and a mixer. What a deal! That's Lou Brock for Ernie Brolio right there. What a deal!
I have
Hope the mixer works.
my
Yeah, right.
ALCS. Let me think. The NLCS for me is Dodgers Braves for the NLCS. And I got the Dodgers beating the Braves out going to the World Series. I hate doing that, but I just I
see
hate the way
Atlanta
the
taking a
Dodgers
bit of
look.
a step back.
All right, so here's my.
Yeah.
I think the Dodgers are the best team. I think they'll make it to the World Series. Well, I think they'll at least make it to the NLCS. Somebody could
Yeah.
take them out there. You know who I don't think you should sleep on this year is the Kansas
Royals.
City Royals.
I was about
The
to say
Kansas City
I like to see
Royals.
I see them coming out of the Central. I definitely see them coming out of the Central.
They may still be a year away. I don't know. They
I
may
think
not
they're a
quite
year
have
away.
enough
I've got
pitching.
Cleveland and Detroit, the top 2 teams.
But
I
they
like the Tigers
remind
this year
me
too.
they remind me so much of that Cubs team that won it all. Of
That's
that
what
team that's just a year ahead of schedule and they don't
Yeah.
even realize they're not supposed to be
I
doing
mean-
it yet and they just do it. And I just
I mean,
think
that was the
they have
Braves.
really good vibes, Pasquantino and Witt, and then you got Salvi, the veteran, and they have a lot of fun pieces.
Well, I
They're
mean,
really young and
look at
talented.
Look at the Braves during Acuna's
Yep.
first or second season.
The Braves were just like that Cubs team too, where they just
Yep.
arrived ahead of schedule, just too big for their britches and didn't know they weren't supposed to be that good yet. And they just got on a heater and believed. And I think the Royals look like maybe they could be that kind of team this year.
A lot of people thought the Guardians were that way last year.
They were that kind of team last year.
Yeah.
They weren't supposed to be that good. The Tigers are a factor as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that like we're in an era where everybody, it seems from where most of us are sitting, that the Dodgers have just stockpiled all this talent, and yet you look around and you're like, man, there's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of teams that have a chance to compete this year. There's a lot of fun young players in places that we don't always have fun young players, like Pittsburgh and Paul Skeens, and you got fun storylines like 2 teams playing in minor league ballparks, which is wild. I think it's cool actually. Like I would love to see a trend of smaller ballparks. I think that would be great. In a way, I think they got too big for a while. I like the idea of them getting smaller again.
Dodger Stadium. Don't ever get rid of
Chavez.
Dodger Stadium.
No, you got to keep Chavez Ravine. But I like the idea of when we're building the ballparks, building them somewhat smaller.
Correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at the Braves is a great example. The Braves had Turner Field, which held like 55,000 seats.
Way too many people.
It was just too many, unless they were in the playoffs or for like a World Series, which they went to a couple at Turner Field at the time.
They had a tough time packing it out.
Yeah, they had a tough time. You moved to Truist Park, which is around anywhere from 40 to 45,000 seats. And they usually sell those games out with ease, and they make more money as a whole. Plus, they built around that field as well. They have a great shopping center around there as well, and a bunch of other stuff.
SunTrust? Is that what it's called? Still Truist, whatever
I
it's
still
called.
call it SunTrust.
I call it
Truist.
SunTrust.
It's Truist
I
Park.
call it SunTrust.
Truist.
I
Yeah,
will never not call it SunTrust.
it's incredible. It's amazing.
It's a great field.
It's outstanding.
But I
For
do
sure.
agree.
Fenway
The
Pack.
smaller park idea is I think great. And I hope, because I saw the other day that Tampa Bay will not be for the foreseeable future building a new field for them.
Right.
Because
They're gonna move. They're
gonna have to at this point
Yes.
because they can't just because they're now focused on repairing their current field, Tropicana, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I would love to see Tampa Bay stay in Tampa Bay. I think it's great to have baseball in the Bay area of Florida. But the problem is whether or not they're going to allow them to actually build a new stadium. Because every time a thing has come up, and this was the same thing for Oakland. I mean, Oakland had multiple times where they came up with plans and drew out plans.
Well,
and put it in front of
I don't think cities need to be building stadiums for billionaires anyway. I just don't.
No, I agree, but I'm saying, like, with Oakland's situation, they had multiple times where they put plans in front of Oakland's city council, and they turned them down every time. They turned them down every time.
Well, because they want.
The other thing is they have the worst owner in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they wouldn't meet their demands. Orlando Rays, please no.
Oh,
we don't
no.
need.
God,
we don't need more crap in Orlando.
Las Vegas Rays? No.
Las
Okay,
Vegas Rays.
Going to Vegas.
I'll tell you what I don't want to do ever is attend a baseball game outdoors in Las Vegas.
I'll say this.
Nashville makes sense. I think Charlotte makes sense.
That's where the Guardians. Charlotte makes sense. That's where the Guardians almost ended up, was Nashville.
Vastly misrepresented, underrepresented in Major League Baseball. The Southeast. All we got is Atlanta.
And it's some of the strongest
team.
It's some of the strongest
because we don't claim Florida. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the Southeast right now in terms of youth. Baseball in the Southeast is some of the strongest baseball in the country.
I think you got to look at. I think you got to look at Nashville and Charlotte real hard.
Nashville and Charlotte,
and then I think they're going to look at Portland closely, and I wouldn't rule out Montreal. Revisit.
That's exactly what I was saying. I want a team back in
Montreal, Vancouver.
Man.
Just to clarify, you're talking Portland, Oregon, right? Not Portland, Maine.
Portland, Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah.
I would love
they've
that.
Been in
that
the
would
mix.
be a fun rivalry with Seattle.
And they've been in the mix for a while. Now, in order to get a rivalry with Seattle, you'd have to do some realignment to get them into the West. But we're about overdue for some baseball realignment anyway.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I will say this though, regarding baseball, I saw this the other day. Before opening day, because opening day is technically it's tomorrow, but they've already played opening day games in Japan.
Domestic opening day.
Still don't understand that one, but hey, whatever.
I think it should be a national holiday on April 1st always.
Yes. Well, yeah, because they change the date every year, don't they? It's always
it used to be April 1st, bro. When I was a kid, it was April 1st, and everybody played. The Reds started first, and then everybody came behind them. And it was great, and it should be a national holiday.
Baseball would always start the day after my birthday, always. And that was what I loved the most. They would always start on April 1st. But regarding baseball, I did see this come out the other day. The Angels have a prospect that is skipping the minor leagues and moving straight to their opening day roster. Yeah. What is his name? Ryan Johnson out of Dallas Baptist. Was the second-round pick in the 2024 draft. Apparently, he did very well in spring training, and so because he did so well, he made the team after playing 0 minor league baseball games.
Nice.
He will be going
is he a pitcher? Or?
I believe he's a pitcher. He is.
Yeah, it's usually pitchers who are able to do that. It's very rare that a position player can do that.
It does not happen often.
Mike Leake. Was Mike Leake the last one?
Mike Leake was Garrett Crochet.
Crochet, Crochet. That's right.
That would be Sam's favorite player, no doubt. His last name's Crochet.
Xavier Nady back in 2000 for the San Diego Padres. Mike Leake for the Reds.
I forgot that Nady did that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's a position player who did it, and he
But,
flamed out. He was not even a good Major League Baseball
it
player.
is opening day tomorrow, and I've been debating about who I have for my picks for the World Series, and I debated between the Braves and Dodgers out of the NL, and that Dodger team is so good.
What's that? The Cubs are bringing in their right fielder to pitch. Funky butt loving.
I will say I had debated about the Dodgers and Braves in the National League, and I have not been able to figure out who I want to put in for the World Series as my picks because the Dodgers are really good, but I just feel as if the Braves, if there's any team that could beat the Dodgers out in a 7-game series, it would be the Braves. Because I mean, people forget, despite the injuries they had last season.
I think you guys are forgetting about the Mets.
The Mets are good, but I don't.
The Mets are really good.
Here's the thing, though.
I think the Mets are really good.
Yeah, but I have not been able to trust them because every time I think they're going to make a run in the postseason or get to the postseason, they fall apart.
But that was because they had idiot ownership. But now they have good ownership.
They do have good ownership.
Good players.
They'll definitely be in the mix of
the Mets. I think are going to be second. I got the Braves coming out of. I got the Braves.
I think
coming
the
out
Angels are finally going to win it all this year.
Oh God, no.
That was a joke.
God, they should have traded Mike Trout.
Good.
Did you see that Trout and some of the other veterans made a new rule that the players can't have their cell phones in the clubhouse because the young guys don't want to talk to anybody? That's so funny.
Yeah.
This is my thing. When in God's name is Mike Trout going to say, I want to leave LA?
He's just so loyal. He's such a good boy. He's a golden retriever. He's such a golden retriever.
I want to see Mike Trout win a World Series.
I just want to see him have more than 3 postseason at bats in his illustrious career.
I know. That's the worst thing.
It's nice for him to play a full season.
He's one of the best players in Major League Baseball.
I hope he stays healthy, man.
He has to.
Yeah, I know. He's one of the best players in baseball over the last decade, and he has played, 1 postseason game or 2?
He's got 3 postseason at bats.
3 postseasons, so 1 game basically.
Yeah.
1 game.
Yeah.
1 postseason game. He's never going to get anywhere with the Los Angeles Angels because they have been absolutely horrible. They brought in a great manager. They brought in a great manager in what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. Used to be the third base coach for the Braves. What am I doing?
Ron Washington. Ron Washington.
Thank you. And he's great. He's a great manager. I 100% fully believe in him as a manager trying to build a program in LA, but it's not happening anytime soon. And Trout's not getting any younger. You know, he's got to make decisions. If he wants something more than just playing for a mediocre team his entire career, then he's got to make the decision to say,
he's got to go somewhere.
It's time for me to go somewhere else. You know,
I also love Ron Washington. Ron Washington is the best infield coach that there will ever be.
Even if it's from Anaheim to the true LA.
Right.
Oh, no, I don't want to see him in a
Libby predicts he'll retire in pinstripes.
That's not a bad prediction, Kevin.
See, I think he goes. He's from Philly, man. He's from Jersey, but he's a Philly guy. I think he goes to the Phillies.
He could go to the Phillies.
But it's so true.
That's another set of
that's his childhood team.
If he goes anywhere, please do not go to the Dodgers. I'm sick and tired of hearing the Dodgers sign some big name every 2 months.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that Kevin was talking about the Yankees, but the Phillies also wear pinstripes once in a while.
Yeah, well, so do the Cubs.
But whenever someone says
pinstripes,
whenever someone says pinstripes, it's always the Yankees.
Our luck, he'd smash into that damn Ivy the first week and never play again.
Have you ever heard of a time when someone says, "Oh, I love the pinstripes"? Oh, you mean the Phillies? No, no one.
Yeah, no, the Yankees are the pinstripes.
I just brought that up because we're talking about it. That's all.
Chase Utley will have a catch with him, and give him his lucky monkey paw that he stole from Mac, and then they'll seal the deal.
You know what?
You got more to say? Have you still not made your picks yet? Jeez.
No, I got the Braves beating the Dodgers in the NLCS, and I will take out of the American League. I'll take the Yankees out of the American League. I do like the Yankees this season, but
I'm
I don't
tripping.
know how
I
far they will
don't.
go.
I
If
don't
it's not
understand
the
why you guys are
Yankees,
liking the Yankees so much. Their best pitcher and their best hitter from last year are gone.
yeah, but they still have a good rotation. It's not like even
Yeah.
if they lost Garrett Cole, you still got Max Fried as your second option for an ace, and he has been an ace pitcher, one of the
Yeah.
top left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball over the
I'm
last
I'm
few
not
years.
sold on the Yankees. I think they're going to get
If
chewed
it's
up by
not
that
the
division.
Yankees, oh, I've had a debate about this. If it's not the Yankees, I do like, and this is a team no one's talked about enough. I do like the Seattle Mariners
Really?
as a solid team.
I
I
have
do.
zero
I
faith in
like
them.
I like
I like
Texas and Houston over Seattle.
I like
I don't like
Royals.
Houston. I'm not
I'll take
liking
the
Houston
Mets.
right now.
Mets over the Royals. I'll take the Mets over the Royals. How about that?
There you go.
Ooh, a rematch in a World Series, Series rematch. How about that?
Yeah.
I do like that
The
idea,
Yankees are trading for Henry Rowan-Gardner. It's Rowan-Gardner,
though. I will
right?
say the Braves did pick up a
Yeah.
Yankee the other
Deadline.
day.
Don't
The
tell
Braves
me.
picked up Alex Verdugo the other day on
I
a one-year
like
deal.
Alex Verdugo. I like him best in LA because his walk-up song sounded so beautiful in
Yeah.
Chavez Ravine.
I have
It was beautiful.
Yeah. I have one more piece of news that's not baseball related.
Really? We've been doing parting thoughts for 25 minutes.
I know. Real quick, Richard Pitino, Rick
I
Pitino's
started it.
son.
Oh,
Little Richie.
way to go, Max.
Yeah. Richard Pitino,
Huge.
Rick Pitino's son, is the next Xavier basketball head coach.
Really?
And so he will be joining Xavier. And guess what that means? Father son going out at each other
Big
in
East.
a Big East game this
How
next season.
about that?
How about that? That
How
should be
about
fun to
that?
watch. I will enjoy watching those games when they
So
come
little
around.
Ricky to Xavier. Yeah,
And
that'll
that
be good fun.
was after it looked like Chris Mack, who formerly coached at Xavier under Sean Miller. I actually had a chance to meet Sean Miller and Chris Mack back when I was in high school because they were recruiting Kenny Freeze back in the day. It looked like Chris Mack was going to go back to Xavier, and then I went to bed last night and I woke up like, oh
They
man,
got little Ricky.
they got
dude.
Ricky.
Pitino's going at it.
Where's Mac at now?
He was
in,
at College of Charleston
He
Oh,
was.
really?
for a year.
I think
I believe.
he might still
Yeah,
be
and
there.
he's staying. Yeah, he's staying at College of Charleston.
Yeah.
That's good for College of Charleston because I
Well,
think
after
he's
they
a
lost,
really
what's
I
his
think
name
he's a
to,
really good basketball coach.
Well, they lost what's his name to oh, God,
Right.
I can't. I'm so confused with names right now.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I'm talking about.
And of course, Sean Miller, going back to Sean Miller real quick, he's going to Texas because Rodney Terry got canned.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
really?
Texas.
And
Yeah.
that's interesting.
and Miller's going there.
Miller's going to Texas, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why the Xavier job was open.
Interesting.
Yep.
Who was the coach at? There was John Kreese, of course. Who was? Oh, Pat Kelsey. That's who you were thinking of because he went to Louisville.
Yeah, he went to Louisville. I remember that because I was watching Clemson play Louisville in the ACC tournament, and I just was like, "Oh, that face
Well,
looks familiar."
and he was just at Winthrop a few years ago. He's had quite a
right, exactly.
rise.
He's been on a rise.
so,
He's a great coach.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for Patino's to go at it in
heard of
a
Hot
Big
Ice?
East game, man.
Just heat up. Like,
What could be more Big
It's the
East
best
than-
of both worlds.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds because what could be more better than
Hot
Patino's
water, warm water.
coaching in the Big East, man?
Yeah, you guys are talking about different things. But all right,
Hot
boys.
ice.
Well, I'm going to bring this in for a landing. I'm really tired, and
Same.
we have rambled on plenty long enough.
Oh,
But good show tonight.
Yes.
I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see about tomorrow or TBD tomorrow. We'll have to convene en la mañana and make a plan for tomorrow. But good show tonight. Enjoyed it with you guys. Congrats to all the teams that won tonight. We love it when our teams win. That's great. Shout out to the May River baseball team for knocking off Bishop England tonight. I hope they can get that W on Friday and take that series win. And thanks to all of our sponsors, especially Mickelson Law Firm, the OGs. Thanks to all of you for showing up to listen or watch. We do it because a few people care. And everybody cares when their kid's name gets on here, right? I mean, that's the biggest thing, or their team or whatever. But all right, boys, always fun talking with you. We'll see you next time. For Marcus Walsh and Max Arraj, I'm Justin Jarrett. I'm headed to bed. Till next time, go Loco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.